Philippines' hosting of the World Economic Forum in East Asia showcases the gains of the country for 3 years under the Aquino administration. Delegates from all over the world, from the heads of state, business and economic leaders, the foreign press, and people's organizations, have converged in Manila to witness the emergence of the Philippines as one of the best-performing economies in Asia. Joining us tonight here on News Live is Mr. John Forbes, Senior Advisor of the American Chambers of Commerce in the Philippines. Good evening, sir, and welcome to News Live.
Thanks, Kathy. It's good to be back again here.
Sir, to start us off, how significant is the Philippines hosting of the World Economic Forum on East Asia?
Well, this is a first for the Philippines. It hasn't happened before. And to have 600 prominent business and government leaders coming from around Asia and elsewhere in developed countries, they will see what is happening here. They're not coming just because of the Philippines. They're discussing all sorts of global issues, but the fact that it's taking place here casts a lot of attention on the Philippines. All of the major news networks, CNN, BBC, Fox, CNBC, Al Jazeera and the like, are all running shows. Anybody that watches cable will see that every day, and that's reaching an audience of hundreds of millions of people today, showing changes in the Philippines, but also showing the continuing challenges that this country of 100 million people faces to make life better for every Filipino.
Sir, given the gains of the Philippines led by President Aquino's reform agenda, is the forum an opportunity to attract more foreign direct investments needed to fuel the surge in manufacturing, generate more jobs, and reduce poverty incidence?
Well, it is, as long as the investments opportunities are attractive. There have to be specific opportunities, and it's striking that last year, while the Philippines got $4 billion, twice what it got 2 years before, Malaysia got $11 billion. So everyone agrees that the Philippines is underperforming in terms of getting FDI, but there's a trend upwards, and with a lot more hard work, fixing infrastructure, as Mr. Luce emphasized on this program a little bit earlier, and opening up mining to responsible mining, and reforming the agribusiness sector. There's a lot of work yet to be done, and we hope that this administration will leave a legacy that is very, very broad. I'm confident it will.
Sir, given the things that you just said, do you think that programs are already currently in place to achieve those?
Not yet enough. They're never in place anywhere. Their infrastructure is not in place, definitely not. The airport is congested, the Port of Manila is congested. We have this occasion for a truck ban. There needs to be more investment in power. The price of power is too high. I would encourage, particularly since you're interested in manufacturing, that low-cost, labor-intensive manufacturing be emphasized because it produces many, many jobs, and that it be emphasized in the areas, provinces that are poorer than here we are in the wealthiest area right around the capital. And that will require subsidy for wages, extending apprenticeships, of improving logistics, and the business groups have just advocated removing the VAT on power for domestic manufacturing. So I think that should be looked at because we've advocated in 20 business groups how to create 4 million new jobs over a period of 10 years.
Sir, now let's look at the positive side of the Philippine economy. What do you think are the major gains of our economy?
Well, the gains are obviously getting a higher growth. Given the intention and the desire of having inclusive growth, it's been emphasized by leading economists and by the head of NETA, the necessity of having 8–9% GDP growth over a period of a decade or so. It has to be sustained. So that's a major gain. You've started it. It needs to be sustained. You've got the credit rating agencies. That reduces the cost of debt, foreign debt. Infrastructure, and reducing business costs. You also have to watch out for too many holidays. I don't want to make a sore point about this, but they need to be rationalized because Vietnam has half as many. The other countries subsidize power costs. We have to take that into consideration. Gains, there are many gains. The anti-corruption program, increased transparency in the budget process, the social infrastructure on education, expanding education, of CCT for the poorest families, and of course making PhilHealth really universal health are very, very significant for improving the future generation of the Philippine workforce.
Sir, the Foreign Chambers of Commerce has been advocating amendments to the economic provisions of the Constitution. How will this enhance the country's competitiveness?
Well, anything that opens up restricted sectors increases investment and competition. I emphasize competition because competition will benefit the average Filipino by improving technology and bringing down costs. Particularly in the area, say, of public utilities, you've gotten to a point where you only have 2 telecommunications companies, even though you started with 5 or 6 when the reform was initiated in the Ramos administration. And an area such as broadband, we all recognize we're one of the slowest of the major economies in the region. So I think if you could take some of the public utilities, you don't even need to change the Constitution to do this, but to amend the Public Services Act. It's almost 80 years old, and it's time that it be looked at to open up some of the sectors. Land is emphasized a lot, but other countries don't open up land. Long leases, longer than 50 years right now, could be done. But the important thing about the proposal that is in the House right now is that in the future it will enable the Congress to make decisions on each and every restriction in the Constitution in the national interest of the country, which cannot be done right now.
All right, sir, and there is no doubt that President Aquino's leadership sparked the Philippines' success story this early, and there is growing concern that the gains could be lost if the people vote for someone who will not continue the reforms he has started to maintain the growth for the long term. What is your opinion on this?
Well, that's a loaded question, I think. You have a single term of 6 years. We've watched in the past some unexpected things happened in different elections going all the way back to the time of President Quezon, who died in exile, and his vice president became president. Or even the election of the current president was unexpected, could not be predicted in say, 2009. So I think you have stability, unlike some of the other countries of the region, Thailand, for example, right now, which is very positive. So it's up to the people to decide in a democratic, non-controversial process who will the next president be, and then it'll be up to the next president to prove that he can continue, he or she can continue the gains of the Aquino administration.
All right, on that note, thank you very much, Mr. John Forbes, Senior Advisor of the American Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Kathy.